Hi, welcome to Frontenac Outfitters Canoe and Kayak Center. This is a stand-up paddleboard review of Tuga SUP's Turista 12'6". The Turista 12'6" is the longer board in their touring series or with their displacement hulls. It is obviously 12'6" in length. You have a 30-inch beam and 5.5-inch depth. What I like about the Turista 12'6" is the fact that even though it is a bigger board, at 30 inches you are a little bit narrower than some of the other boards on the market, and with 5.5-inch depth, again, you're a little less depth there as well. So the idea being is it improves the performance of this board in terms of your efficiency, and it also gives you a little bit better glide through the water. That being said, with a little less width, a little less depth, you do reduce the weight range in terms of the paddler that can be on this board. So what we find is the ideal paddler weight for the Turista 12'6" is about that 145 to about 220 pound range. So talking about some of the features of the Turista 12'6", you can see you do have a center handhold that is more contoured towards your hand, so easy to carry. You've got a bungee paddle park along the side, so you stick the shaft of the paddle up through here, which allows you to kind of hang out and catch some rays or even do the yoga thing if that's what you're into. You'll notice that the standing platform itself is recessed from the deck, and the idea there is it does lower that center of gravity a little bit to improve the stability of the board while you're paddling. Moving forward, you do have some bungee up here to stow some of your gear. There is 4 lashing plugs, so you could swap this out and MacGyver a bit of a pad here if you want to bring the small dog with you or a small child. Also at the nose of the board, we have 2 mounts for the FCS GoPro, so if you kind of want to capture those paddling adventures, it has the ability to do so. As you can see, the board itself is very visually appealing. You have nice colors that really pop, and right here this is a graphic tape that looks like the bamboo veneer. With that being said, on the inside of this board, in terms of your construction, there is a layer of bamboo inside that will lower the weight but really improve the durability. There's also what they'll call an EPS foam core that makes up the shape of this board. The EPS foam core is essentially a fancy name for high density styrofoam, and then they've wrapped that with a fiberglass. Also running the entire length of the board is a balsa stringer, and that's essentially a thin piece of wood that goes right down the center of the foam core that would improve the stiffness of that board, which overall improves the performance. So moving towards the tail of the Turista 12'6", again you have another bungeed area for gear storage and those 4 lashing plugs that you could swap out for something else there. You do have the standing platform that is cushioned and gives you some grip. The one negative that we can say about this board overall is it does not go all the way to the tail of the board, and in order to make the 12'6" Turista a lot more playful in the water, if you really need to do a quick turn, you tend to shift your weight to the back of the board. Once you get onto this glossy surface, if this is wet, it becomes a little bit more slippery, so it does make things a little more challenging. So that would be more for that advanced paddler to be able to do. If the pad went all the way back, that would improve that for more of the novice paddler. Back here you do have the mount for the board leash, so you just kind of tether the line through and then attach the leash to your ankle or to your calf. And then you will see that right at the tail it starts to contour down. The idea there is it starts to make the board more streamlined, so it improves your glide and then again your speed and your efficiency overall. So when we're looking at the hull of the Turista 12'6", this is where the real neat design aspects start to come into the board. Mauricio, who's the owner and manufacturer of Tuga SUP, has roots in Venezuela in the surf industry. That's where he really started things, and then he started to do SUP boards later on down the line. So what he's really tried to do with his stand-up paddle boards is incorporate some of the design features that come from the surf industry. What you'll see on the bottom of this board is what they'll call a double concave that transfers into a single concave. What that does is creates 2 channels of water as you're paddling on either side of this V shape. It really improves the stability, your initial stability of the board, and as that 2 channels of waters is funneled towards the back, it goes into your single concave, which creates almost a little bit of a push or a little bit of propulsion as it goes from 2 to 1. So not only does it give you good stability, but as you get back here, it really starts to improve the glide of the board, so you don't have to work as hard to keep yourself going at that cruising speed. It's a real neat sort of design that you won't find in any other boards. It is a single fin here that you could take out. The single fin is going to improve your stability. It also helps that board track. And then when we look at the tail, you can see a bit of a U shape. And again, that really helps that double concave to single concave create that funnel of water that kind of shoots out the back to improve your glide. So overall, we're really excited about Tuga SUP's Turista 12'6". A great board for beginners because of the stability of the board with the double concave to the single concave, but also really catering towards that intermediate to advanced paddler because of the little narrower beam, little less depth, and again with that double concave going into your single concave, it improves the glide and the efficiency of the board overall. If you'd like to paddle one, come out and visit our on-water shop. We do free test paddling every day of the week. Or if you want to learn a little bit more about the board, check out our website at frontenacoutfitters.ca. Thanks a lot, and come paddle with us.